So you're saying you're fake friends?
No.
We got him!
No,
Ladies and gentlemen, we have baited him successfully.
I'm the fake
He said,
friend.
well, I wouldn't have been friends with him in school, but because we do content together, I have to be his friend. That is the definition of the fake friend.
No. This is just so irrelevant.
How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the Irrelevant Podcast. It is great to be here with you.
We're back.
My man.
It's 10 p.m. at night.
We just had probably 2.5 hours of conversation before the podcast.
Yeah, honestly, I'm like, we're just now sitting down. And I'm like, man, I really wish we just could have recorded.
Dude, if we just recorded that, it would have been amazing, except everything we talked about cannot be publicly stated. Quite literally everything for different reasons.
Yeah, just different company stuff.
Yeah. So at some point, you'll get to hear about some of the stuff that we were talking about.
Yeah.
But unfortunately for the podcast, we have to have different topics. So
Yeah.
we're now starting the podcast. Once again, we are late by a day. We apologize. It's okay. Maybe we should just move the date to Tuesday for uploading.
Dude, honestly, it's been better for
because
me every
it
time.
might just work better. We don't feel as bad about missing the upload day.
Well, it feels better for me because sometimes on the weekend, I think what happened this weekend is we recorded with the boys, and that was like sort of in the slot that I would have recorded with you probably.
True.
Like usually back when we first started the podcast, me and Matt would always kind of record this on a Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday was the move.
And then I don't know, now that I'm thinking about it, Saturday's like kind of like not the best because sometimes you just want to chill on a Saturday too.
Yeah.
And sometimes you want to have fun in some other event where everybody can actually be there because no one has like work or anything.
Right, because you're working all week, and the weekends
Yeah.
are kind of a week time to chill. So, let's just say that for the sake of trying to be on time, the upload days are now Tuesday. So expect them on Tuesdays, not Mondays.
Yeah, I like that better.
Even though I feel like we've hit a Monday maybe once in the past month. So, it's going to come out once a week, most likely Tuesdays.
I mean, at the end of the day, we've done what, 20-something episodes?
This is 22.
That's a lot of episodes,
yeah.
man.
And we've hit every single week except for 1 week where we literally couldn't record.
One more episode, and that's my age right there, dude, 23.
Dude, we're crushing it.
Yeah.
We're
So,
good.
we
And
got
last
it.
week's episode, you guys freaking loved.
Yeah, this one's going to be a little bit more calmer, I think.
Yeah, that one was heated.
That one was the whole time travel debate, and time travel it was so funny. I was watching it back too, and the amount of faces that Matt had in that episode of just like absurdity. Like he just didn't know. Like he just could not agree
get
with
behind
me.
what you were saying. I wanted to believe.
Someone made a comment, and they were like, the best way to describe us is like you. What was it? Like you and
Mine is tech and singularity, and yours is fate and destiny or something. Or
Yeah.
Fate and yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like that does describe a lot of what we always talk about when we get down to like the real life meaning stuff.
Yeah.
So that was good. I enjoyed that one a lot.
Yeah,
That
you
was
guys,
awesome.
there was 125 comments, so shouts to you guys for really enjoying that one.
Yeah.
Give us more topics like that because that was a fantastic episode.
Yeah, that one was awesome. Yeah, any more crazy topics like that would be much appreciated because
It was a good one. You brought that to the table. That was a really good,
Yeah, I knew
really
it was-
good topic
I knew
that
it was gonna be good.
I was not expecting to be that passionate about. And then as soon as we got into it, I was like, wow,
It's 'cause you
I'm
realized-
defending this to the grave because I believe in it so much.
you realized how insane of you realized the theories behind it and how insane they are, and then you start
Yeah.
really think about it.
It's crazy. 'Cause someone else said that my theory is basically Assassin's Creed, and your theory was another game that I cannot remember the name of.
Quantum Break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm I'm over here thinking
Yeah,
like,
so-
yo, this is like a really great theory. Of course, it's been done a million times.
It's the premise of an entire.
It's the premise of an entire series. It's been around for my entire life. Haven't played it once. Have no idea that I'm explaining Assassin's Creed in a nutshell.
That's so funny too because all the guys have always, anytime there's a trip, they're always like, "Oh yeah, JC's gonna go off and talk about Assassin's Creed or something." Because like I used to be a huge Assassin's Creed fan,
Really?
and they would always joke around. They're like, "JC, stop talking about Assassin's Creed," because I would just bring it up. Also, because everything in zombies was Assassin's Creed. Can we talk about that for a second? Sorry, I just need to bring this up. Dude, the summoning key is literally the apple of Eden. And you don't know what that is?
I don't know what that is.
But literally, if anybody's played Assassin's Creed and you look at the apple of Eden and then you look at the summoning key and you just look back and forth, they're interchangeable. They almost do the exact same thing. And maybe not the exact same thing, but they look identical. It's a golden ball. It's a golden orb.
Golden Orb.
And
An
not only that,
all-powerful.
Rick Toppin is voiced by Nolan North. Desmond is voiced
Hey
by
man,
Nolan
listen,
North.
in the
They're all-
creative industry, most things are copied or taken from something else.
Well, I mean, inspiration all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm not even saying it's a bad thing. I just think it's funny because people are like, oh, JC, stop talking about Assassin's Creed. I'm like, dude, you don't understand. It's like the DNA of zombies is in Assassin's Creed. In the original Assassin's Creed.
That's funny, bro.
Dude, oh my God, I could rant about that game, but I'm not going to do it.
Well, that just goes to show you that I don't know a whole lot about these games because I had no clue that I was explaining that entire thing. You're like, yeah, you're basically just giving me the plot of Assassin's Creed right now.
Yeah, and Quantum Break was the opposite. Quantum Break asks the question, one of the big questions towards the end of the game is can you change what has already happened?
Right.
So I mean that was kind of like the premise of my argument. Almost.
Absolutely. So great topic. Thank you guys for all the feedback on that one. We have some questions that you guys asked last week.
Yes. For
this episode because we didn't really have a whole lot to talk about.
But to be fair, we're okay, this is gonna sound wild, but I think at a certain point in this podcast, we're gonna have to do this thing, Matt, where when I come over, I just close my mouth and I'm just look at you. I'm like, I'm not talking. I'm not talking till we sit down, because I feel like at a certain point, if I just came over to your place and we just sat down here and just go, okay, what's up, man?
Yeah,
we have so many conversations before the podcast goes.
Very true.
That I feel like we could just have an episode and it would just be based off of
like a normal conversation.
Yeah. Which I think is a cool setup in a way. So maybe I'm seeing the podcast go that route a little bit more because before we're okay, we have a Q&A section, all this kind of stuff. Now it's kind of okay, we have some questions. Maybe we'll go over them. Maybe we won't. It just kind of depends.
Yeah.
And today we got some questions and let's just riff on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of week to week, whatever happens. But you're right. If we just it's tough because a lot of the stuff we just talked about, like we said, we can't talk about. And that is usually how it goes.
There's some personal stuff in there too.
Yeah. So eventually I think that'll be what it is because there's so much juicy stuff we talk about just by seeing each other, once or twice a week usually.
You're teasing them a lot.
Hey man, I'm just being honest. That was a 2.5 hour convo that we did not plan to have. We just went so deep into it because it's really riveting stuff, at least that we think is riveting. And I think they would enjoy it as well. But eventually that'll be a possibility. Unfortunately right now, not quite.
Not quite.
But let's hop into the question. We got Parker McCustian. Definitely butchered that one. We're going to find out if I'm right or wrong. Sorry, Parker. Thank you for the question.
Shout out to Parker.
Do you think most creators who work together are really friends or just fake it? Also, what about y'all on a personal level?
Dude, I love this question so much.
This is a brutal question because you could really just go off on some people. If you think people
Who is the fake, dude? Who's
the imposter?
Who is the fake imposter of the friend group? Who's
A relevant podcast was the imposter twice, and we crushed it.
Yeah. Before we get into this question, can we talk about the fact that we got the boys to play Among Us?
Dude.
We did it.
Shake my hand.
Yes.
We did it.
We
didn't do anything, but we played, so that's all I care about. And not only that, the game rewarded us by putting us imposter back to back.
Dude, you had imposter 4 times.
I got it 4 in a row.
Oh my God.
Someone was saying, Miles like, can we, it's DC or something. He's like, he's been it 3 times in a row. It's crazy. And meanwhile, I'm like, yo, I've been it 4 times and no one's saying a word about that. Lex didn't get it for 3 hours, and I think I had it 5 out of 6 times to start the game.
Oh my God.
4 of them were in a row.
I had it twice with you. And every time I was freaking out because I was like, irrelevant podcast.
I was stoked. But we got it back to back. That is that is unheard of.
Yeah, that's a
crazy.
very, very low chance.
And we won both times.
Yeah, we did. That was crazy.
We have to play again because that was so much fun.
Yeah, it was a good time. So apparently there's also a mod you can do in Among Us. It's like proximity chat.
Yeah.
And I just want to do that.
Oh, dude, my chat's been asking for it for a long time.
We got to do that. That's got to be the next one.
Oh, it's probably hilarious.
Yeah. Because then I could come up to you in the game and be like, irrelevant podcast. Please don't kill me, irrelevant podcast.
How's that toilet sounding?
Dude, I hated the toilet in that
was a weird, I didn't realize
it.
what you were talking about until I had to do it. And I'm like, oh my God, this is weird.
It was a weird noise.
It was a good game.
Yeah. Among Us is good. I know people like to hate on the most popular things, which I think is dumb. I hate that whatever that initiative is in the gaming community. Oh, that game's popular? Dumb. Wow. Among Us popular?
I don't know,
No.
dude. I think Among Us is one of the most fun games I've played in a long time.
It's so accessible too.
It is. It's so easy to play.
You could get anybody to play it on their phone
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah. I just love the friend act. You have a bunch.
Yeah.
I love that day you can play with a bunch of friends because a lot
Yeah.
of games like, oh, you can play with 3 people or 4 people, but you have like 6 homies that want to play, and it's like, oh, we can't get everyone in. It's kind of like a weird thing of who gets in.
Yeah.
This one, it's the opposite. You have to have a bunch of guys, but when you do get the whole group, it's crazy fun.
Yeah.
So we definitely got to run that back. But
So who's the fake friend of the group of that Among Us?
well, I don't know if any of our friends are
Mr. T. I'm just kidding.
Mr. T Lexicify. Complete phony. Nah, dude, I think like it's the opposite for our friend group.
Yeah.
I think all of us became really good friends because we were creators collabing to start, which
Yeah.
is I definitely think there are people that just kind of use each other for a little bit of exposure. Not amongst our group. Not amongst our group. But on YouTube for sure.
Yeah.
You know there are people that are playing with each other just because they're going to get more views because of the collaboration.
So I think that's
but
okay.
It is okay. I don't think it's a
that-
problem. I don't think you have to be best friends.
Yeah. But I think out of our group though, yeah, like I think about our group a lot. I'm like, I feel like we're almost like too close of friends.
Whoa.
Okay, here's what I mean by that. We're almost too close of friends that we're like scared to play with other people.
Really? Scared? Who's scared?
Not scared, but like, how do I? As we talked about this before, it's like because we're so tight knit that you don't see us like when we played Among Us that one time and Wildcat was in our game, that was crazy. Like that does not happen normally,
Right.
And I think, like, I feel like we're also like bonded so close that we're kind of just like this impenetrable wall. Sometimes we're like, yeah, no, this is the Z boys, and it's always the Z boys and all that kind of stuff or whatever. And then sometimes we're like, well, maybe I don't know. Like, I wish we'd collab more is what I'm saying. I wish we'd collab more with people, even though we're not like best friends with some people. Like, I'm not best friends with Wildcat.
Well, I mean, we
he
had
probably doesn't
people-
know who I am, but
We had Xperia. I didn't know who that
Right,
was,
that was
until
cool.
after the
That-
fact.
but that
I
was cool.
realized
That
he
was-
knew who I was and followed me and
Yeah.
that kind of thing. I was like, oh, that's cool.
I guess what I'm saying is like, I feel like with this question, I feel like none of us are fake in terms of our group.
No,
because,
I
like,
don't think so either.
Because
We've had too many like in-person personal
Yeah.
experiences together to have it be fake.
Yeah, and we're almost like so tight knit that it's like sometimes it might do us some good if we're just like, yeah, let's play with somebody else today. It isn't just
Yeah.
another Z boy or whatever.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
But that's what I mean by it. I'm not saying like we're too close of friends that we shouldn't be. It's more like I feel like the group's so tight knit and we're all content creators that it's really hard for us sometimes to be like, okay, well, who am I playing with today? Well, you got
X, Y, and Z people.
X, Y, and Z people.
Yeah, but I
always
also
play with.
don't think everyone in the group is that close of friends with each other.
Really.
No, I mean, like the group generally, as a whole, like the 10, 15 guys that were a part of it
Yeah.
at any point, are all part of this Z Boys group. We're all friends, right?
Yeah, which is interesting because I don't even do that really anymore. But
Well, I mean, I don't really do that
Yeah.
anymore either. Really, we're kind of like, we've said this before.
we're relevant.
We're kind of on the outside a little bit this time, but like I'm not super close with Pizza, for example.
that's true.
Like I'm tight with him when we hang out in person. He's awesome. I love the kid, but I don't know very much about him personally because I don't talk to him on a day-to-day basis.
that doesn't mean you're fake though.
No, definitely not fake. I
'Cause,
think
like,
that's definitely not out of the question.
Because
for
I
our
get
group.
that. I get that. I would say I'm the same way with Ben as well. Like anytime I've seen Pizza in person, he is so funny to be around and
Yeah.
we've had a blast always. Like I've never not had like a great time with him. And I would consider him one of my friends. But granted, I don't reach out to him all the time,
Yeah, same.
which kind of makes me go, damn, I need to probably reach out to him.
Yeah, like
sometime
he's
soon.
definitely part of the crew, but
Yeah.
I'm not like Liam's another good example.
Yeah.
Like when I'm with Liam's dope, and we've had some pretty fun conversations.
Yeah, I talked to Liam more than you probably.
but I don't think I've ever talked to Liam really outside of
Outside of a
when we're
group.
in person in the group.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So I wouldn't say we're fake, but I definitely would say we're not nearly as tight as I am with some other people in the group. just because I talk to them way more, and I've lived with some of them. Those guys,
true.
so naturally you're way closer. I don't know. He says, do you think most creators?
Most creators.
I would say if people are working together on a consistent basis, there's a good chance they're friendly. Because it would be really hard to be creators and just do it solely for the view potential.
Yeah. I could see it in some cases being like a little bit forced friendships.
Yeah, definitely.
And I've definitely seen forced relationships, to be honest.
Like dating amongst creators?
Yeah, I feel like I've definitely seen that.
Drop some names.
I don't want to drop some names. I don't want to do it. I'm just saying, like, I've definitely seen, like, and that's why I always, like, I wouldn't even say even just creators, but, like, you know, that's even with relationships. When you have a relationship.
Give me one example.
No, I'm saying, like, even when you have a relationship.
You're not getting out of this.
No. No.
Chat. I keep calling him chat now. Dang, you got me in this chat. They want to know.
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of a good example of one that didn't work out.
No one watches our podcast anyway. Come on.
That's not true.
We're relevant, bro.
We had 2,000.
2,000 viewers.
That's a lot. 2,000.
Hey, we love you guys, but let's be honest here. If JC name drops someone, it's not going to go anywhere.
That's not true.
Dang, bro.
That's not
you
true.
don't want to do it.
I believe in the podcast.
Okay, here's. Nah, I can't do it. I don't really even know them that well. I'd feel fake just saying someone's name, not really knowing these people at all.
Who?
Nah, I can't say it. Dude. I can't do it. On the off chance that it's never gonna happen. I don't know. To me, one of the fake seeming relationships, and granted, I don't know either of these people literally at all, so this is kind of uncalled for me to say. But if I had to pick off the top of my head, this relationship totally bogus, Quebo Cop and Azuland.
Damn.
To me, that was like, absolutely not. No chance. No way. It's totally a content play.
Damn.
Totally a content play. Which is kind of fucked to say if I'm wrong.
That is
it's kind of apt. It's kind of apt if I say that I'm wrong.
Because
but
I bet there's some viewers who probably think that too.
You think?
Well, there's probably like with any relationship, people say that. You could have the best relationship online of your life, and someone's always going to say,
yeah,
oh,
but there's a difference. Like, I'm basing this off of seeing what they were like before this, and then seeing the content after, and knowing how YouTube works, and knowing what will do well, exploiting a relationship for the content. When, like, here's another example: PewDiePie and Marzia, absolutely genuine to me.
Yeah, that seems
because they were together well before PewDiePie started introducing her. And they've been together for a long ass time, and they don't use each other for views at all. Yeah, that to me, like, clearly genuine. Quebo Cop, Azuland, the complete opposite. Like,
I don't know him super well.
Not that it's wrong, but if I had to guess, I'd say yeah. And they're not together anymore, so maybe maybe I was right. Oh yeah, they're done. They've been done for a while, I think.
Oh,
yeah, I don't think they're together at all anymore.
See, that's the thing I always wonder. It's like, because and also when you like. It's like celebrity relationships almost, right? It's like, does it feel... You got to wonder, like, in that headspace, like when you're dating another creator or something, do you feel more obligated to date them because they're a creator? Probably.
You watch any Mike Malak? You know Lana Rhodes?
Yeah.
You know, they were, like, dating.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Well, they were dating.
Okay.
So Mike's vlog channel blew the fuck. I gotta stop cursing. blew up. Yeah. Because I don't want to say because, but in part because she was on there. Okay. And she's Lana Rhodes. Yeah. They've now broken up. I think his channel's still going to do pretty well because he's got like a really good following and he's pretty good at this stuff he does. But I mean, it's like it. I'm not saying they were together because of that. I'm saying like it's going to hurt a little bit when your views get crushed because the relationship brought a lot of the viewership. Yeah. And or she brought a lot of the viewership. Yeah. So
that's wild.
When you're in a relationship and you're another good one, prank versus prank, boyfriend versus girlfriend.
Yeah.
Their entire career rode on their relationship.
That's scary. That's
right.
Really,
like
really
when you
scary.
and they were 10 years together. Like you'd think they'd be married,
but they weren't.
They didn't because they were clearly having problems behind the scene. They're not together anymore now.
Yeah.
But their whole, I bet you they went on way longer than they would have if their content wasn't attached to their relationship.
The other ones I don't know as well, but that one I definitely agree with you. Like there's definitely like 100% they were probably trying to get it to work longer than it should have because it was making money.
It's their whole that's their whole livelihood. That's their whole career. That's their day to day. They're daily vloggers essentially.
That's so scary. So I think to answer this question, like I would say it definitely happens, and not even just in friends, but also relationships as well. There can be sort of
to even a worse degree, I would say.
Yeah, the relationship is more scary.
Oh, way worse.
But I've seen it happen with some like I feel like I don't want to say like.
I've dropped a bunch of names, and you haven't dropped a single one. You're leaving me on an island right now.
I'm trying to think of like, okay, I'm trying to think of like a name that isn't like
that's someone you know that someone's gonna watch this. That's gonna ruin.
But I would say there's probably cases too where like even in the zombies community or something, like somebody wanted to play with somebody or it was like you just want to play with somebody because they get views or something, right? And you
of course
you want that.
Oh, of course.
So it's like. It exists everywhere.
I mean, you could argue that Chucky, Jack, and I were faking friendship with Pat and Lex to, during the Z House to get some of their viewership because they had more viewers than we did.
Well, let's ask that question, Matt. So were you doing...
This guy hopped on this shit so hard. The answer is no. In fact, people made fun of this and we like played into it.
Yeah.
The three other guys in the house.
Yeah.
That was never it.
Yeah, see, I remember that.
And to be honest with you, like the biggest videos were not Pat and Lex's. It was me and Jack.
Yeah.
And it wasn't because of Pat and Lex, it was because of all five of us.
Yeah.
So now Pat and Lex are homies.
Yeah, I know.
They're best friends.
I'm just asking for the meme.
Well, no, I know. I'm answering the question. Like, no, it's not fake. At least on my side, it's not fake, and I don't think it is for them either.
Yeah. But it's interesting to look at though and be like, It's like what led you to all coming together? It was content though, right?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, like
but it's
just the hobby of content creation, and I would say, and you could also say like zombies specifically was probably the commonality between everyone.
Yeah.
At the moment.
Yeah.
But look at it now. Like everyone's careers are in different paths.
That's true.
So
that was a very interesting question. Fake friends as content creators. I definitely think it happens a lot. It
happens, but he doesn't want to give a single example because he's. I'm not going to push you to do it. I know you have someone on them. I can just feel it. I can see it seeping out of your brain right now. Like, I have these three people in mind that are definitely fake, but I can't say it because I don't want to get in any beef.
Yeah, probably. But I can't really think of one actually. I just know it exists. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Like
it definitely exists.
I think I see the relationships. That one's more clear to point out because then they don't work and you're like, oh, okay, they broke up or whatever. But
the relationships like this to a very higher degree because it's like your romantic, your friendship, and your life, like your job, career, livelihood is all riding on this one relationship. So whether it's working or not, it has to work. Yeah. Because there's so much incentive for it to work.
Yeah.
And if you lose it, you're like, oh, I lose views. I lose my creativity. I don't know what to do for videos anymore. My heart's broken. I have no friends.
Dude, it's effed. It's
bad.
Effed.
It's like one way or the other, really bad.
That's why like massive respect to anybody who puts their girlfriend or boyfriend on camera, like with them, honestly.
You have to really be prepared and understand the boundaries. When you bring your girlfriend on stream every stream, and
who does that?
I don't know.
Who does that?
I don't know, man.
I don't do that.
Just throwing it out there.
Hope Bim's not watching this one.
I'm kidding. You're good.
No, you do it too, though.
I mean, she's been on like one or two, yeah.
No, she's
I've been dating her for 8 years. You can't really tell me it's not genuine at this point.
That's true.
I would have to really have some serious level of patience if it was.
We're living together.
You are.
We're living together.
That's a big move, man.
We took the step.
No, you're good because you were doing your thing before she was in the picture.
Pandemic changes all.
This man found love in a hopeless place.
It does. Yes. It does. Did not make sense the response to that, but yes.
Found love in a hopeless place. We found love in a hopeless place.
Okay. Anyway, No, but to me, I'm always like, dude, the pandemic is such a story, and we spent way more time together because of the pandemic existing. So I feel like it's been a year, but it hasn't been. It's only been 8 months.
8 months?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does feel longer than that, actually.
8 months already, though. That's crazy.
It's going quick. It'll go quick, dude. It becomes 8 years before you know it.
Yeah.
If it goes that long. Okay. I didn't mean it like that. I didn't mean it like that. I'm just kidding. I'm just stirring the pot, man. You didn't give me a single person for the question.
I'm going to throw a little shade.
Yeah, okay. All right. Yeah, okay. Okay.
What's another question?
The next question is from Bennett Griffin. He says, I have a question. Mm-hmm. How did building relationships help you grow as a content creator and or a person?
So this one kind of goes to the last one. I think
it does.
I think you just expand your horizon. You expand your look. Lex is a great example, right? Like I probably in school wouldn't have been friends with Lex, but meeting Lex through content and actually making some cool stuff with him and all that kind of stuff.
So you're saying you're fake friends?
No.
We got him. No, ladies and gentlemen, we have baited him successfully. He said, well, I wouldn't have been friends with him in school, but because we do content together, I have to be his friend. That is the definition of the fake friend. No. We have got him. He didn't want to say it because it's him. It's himself, the reason.
I'm just like, I'm sitting here and I'm all of a sudden I'm like, Matt, we're not friends. Did you know that? No, but I think Lex is a good example of the other thing because it's like Lex is somebody who is very eccentric and like just different.
Yeah.
He's just got a personality that is wild and crazy. He knows this. He would laugh with me trying to describe this right now. But again, like my friend group in high school, I would say was like very, very contained. Like, oh my God. Like, no offense to those friends. I love those friends, but oh my God, I could have met more people if I just tried.
Yeah.
And I think if anything, content creation has let me meet a lot of people and a lot of cultures, I would say as well, that I normally would not have been able to even see or experience ever.
Yeah.
Like the fact that someone like Milo is one of my friends and he literally lives in the UK to me is a prime example of like, and Lex, Canada, is a prime example of like that just could not have happened if I didn't do content creation.
Absolutely.
Unless we somehow met like on an online video game or something instead, maybe, but still it doesn't hit the same way as it is like we made content together and all that kind of stuff. So I would say that to me, I've experienced a lot more of like the differences in people, which I think has been really good for me. Like I feel like my opinions on the world like 6 years ago were horrible compared to my opinions on the world now. And I think a good testament to that is the friend group that I have. I feel like I have experienced a lot and like, it's like the same way we go to college and all of a sudden you're like, whoa, my whole mindset has changed or I'm experiencing more things. So like I have different opinions now. Like granted, you're going to always change your opinions forever, right? But and to some degree, you're always growing. But I would say, I feel like I got like the expedited version of that because it's like, I live in Alabama and I'm going to school in Auburn, Alabama, but like I'm experiencing the opinions of people that are literally across the world.
Right.
And I feel like a lot of people just don't get that. And
Absolutely.
I feel really blessed for that, to be honest.
Oh, that's phenomenal answer, and I couldn't agree with you more.
Let's go.
Agree with you more. Even though you have fake friends, I couldn't agree with you more.
I was a fake friend though to get it.
You're right. Like you wouldn't have got that experience. You would have never met someone in the UK if you haven't been in the UK.
Right.
Obviously, on the internet, you can meet people, but
you can meet them that way. But
it's weird when you think about like a relationship or meeting new friends and how you do that these days. Generally, it's you go somewhere like the gym or a party or a sporting event or I don't know, any like bowling, a roller rink, whatever it is, whatever activity you're doing. You might meet someone, but you have to be outgoing and be willing to introduce yourself or start a conversation. I feel like that's really hard for a lot of people, especially because of how much easier it is to do that via the internet now without having to have that awkward confrontation of with a person for the first time. Mm-hmm. So I think for me, it's like almost all of my relationships start in what I would consider to be work, like content creation, production, Like I'm thinking about all the friends I have out here.
Yeah.
Some of them I've known from college, but most of them is through work in one way or another, which is weird because I don't work at any specific place. But like Jose, I got an email from a random dude on this website called Fuzio. He's like, yo, I have this cool thing I want to do with influencers. So I agreed to meet up with him, met him. Next thing you know, like 5 years later, we're homies. And the dude's 40 years old and he's from Guatemala. Yeah. Like that is so, I would have never met someone like this. I would have never even talked to this guy. Like anywhere, in any setting, I would have never approached a guy of that age. Like, you know, like I just wouldn't have a reason to. Like I would be like, oh, this guy's like clearly a lot older than me. Like I don't really, you know, I have no real reason to meet a person like that. We're like really, really good friends. Yeah. You know? So it's stuff like that those relationships have come together because of content creation and because of the creative work that I do. But the key here is that it's easier to meet people and get to know them like that and kind of have things in common because you already have that first layer of commonality.
You have like an understanding.
You're already in the same place for the same thing on at least one thing.
Yep.
And for me, that's work.
And that's why, like, I think a lot of our friend group is so tight knit because when you know, compared to like I see, again, I don't want to compare our situation like every friend group on earth because I'm sure there's a lot of friend groups that are in high school or whatever that are really close. But I don't know, like to me, it's like because we all had that shared passion, it's like meeting somebody and having like this eureka moment where you're like, bro, have you ever, okay, chat. I'm going to always say chat because it's very easy to say. But chat, have you ever met somebody who you're like, wait, that's your favorite TV show? That's my favorite TV show. Yeah. Oh my God. And you just have this instant connection with them because of that? Or, oh, that's my favorite video game, right? Especially if it's a more obscure video game or a more obscure TV show. It's like if somebody said like they like Lost, right? I'm like, bro, you like Lost? You know how it feels, right? Like you know that experience of watching that show. That was the same thing for us, I think, in a lot of ways, where you meet somebody and you're like, oh wait, you make YouTube. So you had the whole bit where like people didn't believe. Oh, so you also had the bit where like you struggled for So you have like all these things. Like, okay, I know the struggles that this person's went through. I know what they're passionate about beyond belief, because content creation, to get to that point of success, you have to really make it your all. It really becomes who you are in a lot of ways, right? And which is dangerous to a lot of ways of why content creation is scary, but it is who you are. I would say nowadays people have editors and stuff. You can sort of play it up a lot more. But like when we were doing this and when we started, like you had to put your all into this thing.
You're kind of like a one-stop shop. You're doing everything.
You're doing everything.
From top to bottom, which is kind of crazy to think about.
Yeah.
It takes a lot. A lot to do every step of making a video and doing it on a high level consistently.
Consistently. And when you see that with your like people who aren't your friends yet, and you just have that common ground immediately where you're like, oh, I know what some struggles that you've had. I know what you're passionate about. And especially I think because all of us are passionate about the same genre of thing, it just happened. You know, you just instantly become close friends.
You have that thread of common things already.
Yeah.
And then the other thing with that is that as you grow in your friendship, you learn from each other and you kind of grow off of each other essentially. Like, yo, like this is the common struggle we've had. JC overcame it this way. I overcame it a different way. And now we both know that, okay, this is like, we're sharing that experience essentially. Yeah, it's like we're sharing those the passion, the struggles, the growth, the learning.
Well, it's like even tonight, like before the podcast, I would say a big chunk of our conversation was like just doing something you're passionate about, like how, like trying to find time to like make videos that you want to make and stuff like that. And it's just like the fact that I can talk to you about that. I could talk to, and I don't want to throw him under the bus because I love him. DC, for instance, like my best friend I've had, I would say DC's an IRL friend, which that doesn't make any sense because you're IRL too. But like DC has always been my friend from school, from my hometown since 3rd grade. And he's probably my best friend I've ever had, like throughout my entire childhood years and to college. We were roommates in college and everything. He was in a couple of videos. You guys probably know who DC is if you're listening. But you know, DC's a really good example. Like I could talk to DC about some of this content creation things and he would totally listen and understand and all this kind of stuff. But it doesn't, hit the same way sometimes as talking to you about it, because you just kind of have this, I know that you have a perspective on it that like
you can't have without having done it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I love DC. He's a brother to me. Like
Right.
I would do anything for that man, and I need to see him. It's been a while since I've seen him, and I want to go see him soon. But it's a very different kind of relationship.
Absolutely. It's shared experience that
Like,
it's very hard to understand if you haven't done it.
I got the nicest message from him this week as well.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, like he sent me a message because he was playing with us on the Among Us stuff.
Yeah, you threw him under the bus.
I did. He understands what I mean by that. He knows. That's why he's a homie. But I did not.
Yeah, you threw him under the bus when I was imposter with him, and I was like, God.
Oh, I thought you meant just now.
No. I don't mean right now. I mean the game. Yeah.
But
if you can't tell, I care very much about the game.
Yeah, I know you do. I can tell. It's still heated about it.
Dude, I love it. I just
so
love
good.
that game.
It's
okay,
so good.
God, sorry.
But DC messaged me, and he was like, dude, like, just want to say thank you, man. Like, I don't say it enough, but like, thank you for just letting me like play with all these guys. And I'm just like, DC, you're a homie. What, you don't have to say thank you. Like, what do you mean? You've been my best friend my entire life. Like, but like, then it hits me sometimes. I'm like, it actually must be pretty wild for him sometimes when he gets pulled into a game of like Noah, Milo, Lex, and like like all these guys. And, you know, he doesn't really talk to you guys ever really, you know, because he's
right.
basically my like main friend. And it's like, he's just like, dude, it's so cool. I just really appreciate it. I'm like, dude, you don't have to ever say thank you. Like you DC, you've been my best friend my whole life. Like it's fine. And plus DC like connects to y'all pretty well in games. So
he's cool. He's cool.
I just thought that was so nice. I'm like, what a guy, dude. Like he gets it. He's one, like, the reason why I love DC so much is he gets it more than anyone else could who hasn't done it.
Yes.
He gets it.
I have that friend too.
Yeah, it's like that. It's like I've always told DC, I'm like, dude, if you wanted to be a content creator, you could.
Yeah. Like
I know he could because he's funny. He did the flag taken stuff for Lex and me as well, and like he did a stream. Oh my god, I gotta tell you this story. We were doing this. So we're there was this night, like a couple of. I think it was about like it must have been like 5 months ago or something. It was a while ago. And there was some crazy like gifting sub war going on, and all of us were streaming. It was like I was streaming, Chop was streaming, and Liam was like in the call too, and I think Phil was streaming too. And it was like this funny thing that was happening where people were like gifting subs to me, then gifting subs to Chop, then gifting subs to Phil, and then and then Liam's like, well, I'm gonna go live then to get subs just for the meme of it, and like people gifted subs to Liam too, and we were like losing our minds because we're like, that was crazy. I bet some of the people who get this subs are probably listening to this podcast now. You guys are crazy for that. And it was so funny because I think whatever DC was in my chat or something. And he like, I think he made like a joke or something like, yo, what if I just went live too or something? I'm like, do it right now. Like I guarantee you if you go live right now, you will have viewers, DC. Like go live. He like never streams, but he has like a little Twitch channel. And so he just like went live. He's like, hello guys. And like there's like 20 people in his chat and they're like, yo. He like never has gone live in like, he hasn't gone live in like months. And he had like the one donation link because he doesn't have a sub button. He just had the one donation link. And DC was like, DC's so funny to me because when he really sets his mind to like a bit like that, he'll just go overboard with it. So he was like, yeah, I need to like do something if you guys like donate. And he was like, yeah, if someone donates like $50 right now, I'll get in that dog cage behind me. And like he had his like his dog's cage in the background, and he's a big golden retriever. Yeah. And the dog was not there at the moment, and and someone just immediately donates, and he's just like, and he gets up, he's on stream. He gets up, goes in the cage, and locks the door. And he's just like in the background of the stream in a cage. And this is this man's only stream in like 6 months. He just goes live because the boys were live, gets put in a cage. That's probably against TOS. Who knows? And then Then he's like screaming for his wife Morgan. He's like, Morgan, let me out. Like texting her and all this kind of stuff. And she just like comes in. She's like, what are you doing? Like you're just in a cage. I thought that was so funny. It's like, but that's the kind of like, that's why I love DC though. Cause he's always like, I know he gets it. He just gets it.
He gets it.
He doesn't just sit there and is like, yeah, I'm going live. No, he's like, all right, guys, what's up? I'm not even a streamer, but I'll get in that cage right now for this much money. And it happened. It was really funny.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, I think with like, I think we all might have that friend where like they don't do content creation.
Yeah, I think you have to, because before you meet other content creators,
Yeah.
like I'm sure you had a friend that got it enough that you could talk to them about it, because who else are you going to talk to about?
I've had a lot
Your
of late
family
night
definitely
chats.
didn't really respond super well, I'm sure, and the school and teacher probably didn't, at the time at least, didn't think too much of it.
That counselor, dude.
Yeah. So, shout to DC. I have a friend like that, Arland, who's my roommate in college.
There you go.
Why I chose him as roommate in college, because we're sharing a room. I told you.
Yeah.
And I'm in there doing commentaries midday. Like it'd be really weird if the person in the other room is like, "What the hell are you doing, dude?" Or like trying to mess it up. I wanted someone who understood and like respected it, and he did, because he also tried to he was doing YouTube at the time.
Nice.
He's doing other stuff now, but he got it. He always got it. So it's good to have that friend. If you have that friend right now, or have someone that's like also likes doing YouTube or likes content creation, keep that person around, because those relationships, especially if you guys both end up doing YouTube or doing content creation, collabing is huge, bro. Even if you got to be fake friends, it's a good deal.
Honestly, just be fake friends.
Yeah, just be completely phony and don't ever have any substantial part of your relationship. Just completely do it for views.
I mean, honestly, people have probably gotten really successful doing that.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
So,
I'm sure.
all right, we've talked enough about those questions.
Great question though.
That was really good.
Our next question from TB John says, what are your biggest fears in life? That's a loaded question. I already know mine. Mine's been the same for
Biggest
years.
fear.
It's not a normal fear.
Go ahead then. Go ahead.
I have like some small ones that are, your typical phobias. Like I don't love spiders.
Oh, dude, I hate spiders.
I'm okay with heights for the most part, but sometimes like really big heights definitely get me.
But skydiving's fine.
I don't know if I could go
Wait,
skydiving.
have you not done it?
No, I haven't done it.
No.
I don't know if I can do it.
Oh, you could.
Dude, here's the other thing. It's not a fear, but I really don't like roller coasters. I don't like the butterflies on roller coasters.
No,
I
Matt.
hate it. I can't do it.
Guess what?
It makes me want to throw up.
When you
dude.
skydive, it doesn't exist.
I know. People say that. I'm like, that makes me want to try it a little bit, but not enough.
Dude, I'm telling you.
If there are no butterflies, it would be.
That was my biggest fear about skydiving, and it did not exist.
Why is that?
Did not exist.
Tell me why that. How does that make sense?
It's something because there's nothing, like when you're in a roller coaster, you're like, I think it's something about the fact that you're being forced by the roller coaster, like you're inside a roller coaster being forced a certain way, and then the tracks force you a certain way again, plus gravity. It's like more things. But when you just float out of a plane, it sounds crazy, but when you just like fall out of a plane like that, I don't know. It's something about like the way gravity is in that scenario, and how you're not being pulled by anything else but yourself and gravity. It just works.
This has been Physics with JC.
That is probably the worst physics ever. But there's a difference.
Yo,
there's a difference.
Irrelevant on Twitter. Clip that out at Milo. That's all you need to do. That's all you need to do right there. And just that explanation was, I was trying not to laugh and smile the whole time.
But it's something about.
You're probably right. It's got to be something. Because
It's
I've heard
something
that
with the
before.
force.
Like, oh yeah, that you don't get butterflies. Like you just feel like you're like flying through air essentially.
Yeah.
Because I imagine if you got butterflies, you'd have a hard time breathing the whole way down.
Right.
Right? Because for me, at least, when I'm on a roller coaster, I'm like, like it's like a
The
lot.
hardest thing about skydiving was breathing.
Okay, then I'm not going.
No. All right, question. Do you scream on a roller coaster?
I don't usually go because I do. Okay, I
No.
do find that if you scream, it helps a little bit.
On a roller coaster?
Yeah, it helps like kind of like force the butterfly. I don't really know how to explain it.
Okay, so
Butterflies is a shit word because it is not like butterflies.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know if I can breathe anymore.
Okay, so when I was skydiving, I didn't have the butterfly thing. To me is the tingly feeling, like the weightless.
It's like if
feeling.
you're in a plane too and it drops really quick. It's
Yeah,
like,
no, not that feeling. That feeling doesn't exist. The problem
Okay.
I had was because I was so like in the moment of skydiving that I was forgetting to breathe.
oh God.
I was forgetting to. So my face in the video, if you watch like the video that I posted, I'm just like doing this. I'm like like I look like I'm about to pop. But what they told me is they said, "Oh yeah, some people have that problem the first time they do it." What we tell people is just scream. Like if you scream, you're fine because you're basically all this wind is hitting you. So
Yeah.
it's really easy to inhale, right? It's harder to exhale. But if you scream, you push it out instantly.
Right.
But I'm not a screamer. That's really weird. But I'm not really like a screamer like in roller coasters and stuff. I'm more just like, whoa, yay. Like,
yeah.
I don't like scream that much. So I was just like, then I just couldn't breathe correctly. So if I went again, the thing I would do is as soon as I fall out, I would just be like, ah. So
Okay.
I'm
So
telling
scream if
you-
I skydive is what you're saying.
yeah,
right.
make sure you scream if you skydive, but you will not have the butterfly feeling. I'm telling you, it's fun. It's so much more fun than the butterfly feeling in your stomach.
Maybe I have to try it before
You
I.
have to do it.
Maybe the bucket list. I don't know. I just don't
Irrelevant
like
at
I don't like
10K subs.
Okay, relax. That's like quicker than you think. We get one more guest on, and we're probably gonna hit 10K.
Skydiving with me and Matt. Irrelevant.
Maybe
skydive.
we'll make it a different celebration. Not 10K. That's way too low for me to go skydiving.
I want to do it again. I would do it again.
Well, that's not my biggest fear.
Okay, what's your biggest fear?
My biggest fear is growing up.
Oh,
Yeah,
hits.
it's definitely a different fear than most
That's
people
so
would think of.
sad.
It's kind of sad. Yeah, that's it. I mean, I don't really know what else to say about it. That's it. It's
Damn.
always been a fear of mine. It's not. I don't know if it's really a fear. I think it was a fear. I think now it's less of a fear and more of a.
First step is denial, right?
True, bro.
When's the acceptance?
Like,
Was
if
it-
you could be your age for the rest of your life, what would it be?
My age right now,
Yeah,
honestly,
23, 24.
like 22 or 23.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably what I would say as well.
Dude, you just made my life flash before my eyes because now I'm just like I'm 23 and I can't even go to any place because of the
Like
pandemic.
it's when you're in like 19 to 24 is nice.
Dude, you just don't know
You
how
have
good you have it.
You don't. You really don't know how good you have it. You got all the
Yeah.
abilities of an adult, but you're still a kid by a lot of standards, and you still have the ability to do things like a kid.
Yeah.
The minute you get to like 24, you realize 25 is next, and that hits way different than anything under 24. It feels way different.
I'm not
and
looking
once you're
forward
past
to
25, forget about it. You're closer to 30 at this point. It's like it's all over.
it. Oh no.
You just feel old. Like looking to me, it's like, okay, maybe I don't look old, but when you hear 28, man, the guy's almost 30. Like he should be having kids almost, like it's a weird thing. And when I think about it that way, I'm like, yo, I am not ready for this shit.
It's okay.
I am not ready for this.
Swap out your body with robot parts in the
There you
future.
go, dude. And then I'll just be a kid forever. Yeah, I would say that's my biggest fear. I don't know if fear is the best word at this point
That's a
in
really
life,
good one,
but
though.
I would love to stay younger for a lot longer. Because you don't know how good you have it till it's over. That's like, when you think of nostalgia,
The Office quote, man.
yeah, nostalgia will always be those younger years. Your nostalgia is probably not going to be 30 to. I mean, I guess it will be
We'll
when
be
you get really
nostalgic
older.
about this one day.
Maybe.
We will be.
Yeah.
100%.
Well, when it's over, yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like even in the last 5 years, the nostalgia is still the same set of years from younger.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you nostalgic for like 2016 and 17 like I am?
Oh yeah. Like 2013 to 2017, banging years.
For me,
Fire years.
For me, it's for me, it's like literally just 2017. Like that year,
Was so good.
Just everything happened that I wanted to in my life. Like everything.
Where's your headspace at in 2017 that makes it so great?
Like what is Chronicles? It was meeting all of you guys. It was like I was my first year in college, like the end of my first year in college. So I was like really figuring out who I was.
Yeah.
And I even looking back to that year, I feel like I'm a completely different person now.
Right.
But that was like the start of me like figuring out who I am, I think. Like it sounds so weird, but like I feel pretty good about like where my headspace is right now of like what I'm doing and everything. And I feel like that whole journey started then in some weird way. Even though I made videos since like 2009.
Yeah.
I don't think till...
Yeah, but that was like a peak year is what you're saying.
Yeah, like that was a peak year, but like that's the year I'm nostalgic for. Like I feel so much nostalgia for it.
I think a big part of nostalgia is it's a time before you start to think about the pressure of life.
Yeah.
Because for me, at least in
I was
college,
a freshman in college.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think college is a big thing because in college, the answer is always easy about like your life purpose, what you're doing, what you're going for, what your goals are.
Yeah.
It's always the same thing. No matter who asks you, if you ask yourself, I'm in college. It's understood that I'm 4 years here.
Degree.
I'm going for a degree. Like my path is set. So you don't have to think about these things. And therefore you're like ease of mind essentially. And you're enjoying the things in life that you want to enjoy.
Yeah.
When you get older, reality starts to set in. Responsibility starts to set in.
Yeah.
Generally, it sounds like an old person thing to say, but it's the truth. The older they get, the more cautious you are about your surroundings, your like health, risk taking, because you kind of have to be because of responsibilities and reality.
Especially when you have a kid and stuff like that.
Right, and because of those things, it is a lot harder to be like embracing of the amazing things about life.
Yeah.
And the things that make you happy, the things you love, the things you want to do. Because a lot of times you actually can't do a lot of those things because you have other responsibilities now. So the nostalgia to me is like, when I think of those couple years, it's summer with friends where no one had to worry about a job. Or even if they did have a summer job, it wasn't like they didn't care about money. They didn't care about having to worry about all this shit.
Yeah.
Now they all do. And a lot of them are having a hard time balancing life.
Yep.
They focus on work and on finances and responsibilities and growing up so much that they're like completely disregarding their friend group and making time for other things in life, because life is about balance. So to me, it's like those nostalgic years, you take away all the difficult things of life and you're just left with enjoying the shit out of good times with friends. And that's what nostalgia is all about. That's what like makes the great times great.
Damn. Yeah.
So
when you say that, like, I think 2017 still for me, but then before that, probably like, sounds so dumb, but like Modern Warfare 2 days.
Dude, just like coming home from school and just ripping the game all day with friends like that.
It's that and like Halo 3 for me.
That's it, because you don't have to worry about other things at that point in life.
Dude, like I cannot tell you guys this enough. Like, if you are playing games with like online friends all the time and you just have all this time in the world to play multiplayer and all this kind of stuff, bro, you don't know how good you have it. You generally don't know how good you have it.
That's actually a really good point, because not everyone does have this experience that we're explaining.
Yeah.
That's a whole deeper conversation, but if you do have the ability to have these amazing moments that you enjoy so much, that you are craving to come home from school and like be a part of, embrace them and do not take them for granted.
Yeah.
Because they won't last forever. I hate to break it to you. And some people don't even have that like opportunity to spend all that time doing like a lot of fun stuff. So enjoy it.
Dude,
enjoy it while you can.
If I could go back to like the Halo 3 Forge days where people made like all these custom maps and stuff and just experience that like for just like if I could just go into a bubble, if I could time travel.
Oh dear God, here
like
we go.
And just experience that for like a week again. Like just a week of my time of just coming home from school every day. Maybe not the school bit, F the school bit, but if I could just come home every day and, you know, see my dad, say, hey, what's up, Dad? He's like, what are you doing? I'm about to hop on Halo 3 with DC and the boys. And hop on Halo 3, hop on Modern Warfare 2 or whatever. And just play the hell out of some video games with them. I'm really nostalgic for that, to be honest.
Yeah. I remember those days, man. I'd come home, I'd blast Ayaz. And I'd play, or Jason Derulo.
I'd blast Linkin Park.
There you go, bro. You had the songs, and then you just play the game like so much.
Yeah, and you play Search and Destroy. You'd be in a lobby with like 12 people.
Fuck yeah, dude. Good times.
Yeah.
That, and then the summers, I was like the complete opposite. I would play no video games. We'd be outside at the beach or like with a ton of friends on the boardwalk.
I played Airsoft.
We played Airsoft too.
Did you like Airsoft?
Oh, I loved it.
Do you like paintball more?
No, we did Airsoft mostly.
See, I liked Airsoft more than paintball.
Yeah, I had a G36C. Oh man, I love that thing.
I had an M4.
Dude, it was always like who could get the fastest FPS one.
Yeah.
Oh man, so much
DC
fun.
had an AK-74U.
Dude, it was great. The problem with that was it was always so hard to get like a group of people to go. But when we got it, we played like King of the Hill, Capture the Flag. Oh, so much fun.
I remember like DC was like building his family was like building their house or something at the time. And so we had like these foundational structures of like concrete blocks. It looked like a COD map.
So dope.
It was like some construction map. And we're just in there. There's like all these like dirt mounds and stuff. And we're like, DC, come on. And we also had like this truck. Like we had, I forgot what it's called. I want to say Polaris, but that is not the right word maybe.
Like a four-wheeler Polaris?
It was like maybe it is called Polaris.
Yeah.
It's like a four-wheel truck thing. It's kind of like a golf cart, but way more beefed up.
Yeah.
And I remember we would play this like convoy game where, because it was like all woods and stuff. And there'd be like my friend Connor, his dad would drive the Polaris, right. How do you say it? His dad would drive it. And then I lose, you know how you have like vivid memories of something?
Yes.
I have a memory in my head of like me and DC in the Polaris. How you say it?
Polaris. I'm not sure.
We're in the Polaris with my friend Connor's dad, and his dad had like the full mask. He was like really like suited up. He was driving, and the whole game was that we had to get. It was just. I honestly don't know what the point of the game was. I think the game was we just had to get shot because like.
I don't know how was a kid who never knew how to play. He was just shooting everyone.
But like I don't remember what the objective was because it was just us driving down a road and like there was woodland, like woods all around us.
Yeah.
And the whole thing is that it was sort of close to nighttime. So Connor and my other friend Hunter would be in the woods and they'd be like the attackers. And me and DC were in the vehicle and like he had his airsoft gun on one side. I had my airsoft gun on the other side. And we're like, dude, you see him, man? I don't see them. And then all of a sudden you just hear them go, like, I don't know, some like word or something like, let's go. And they start like unyielding amounts of airsoft bullets at us. We're getting like popped left and right. I was always like the taller kid, the skinny tall kid when I was little. Like I had my growth spurt really
Hasn't
fast.
Changed,
so I was just a big freaking target at all times. I remember just getting like destroyed and it was just so much fun. I'm like, bro, I remember that. I remember it so clearly in my brain. And
that reminds me of like Manhunt. You ever play Manhunt?
Yeah.
Oh man, we played the crap out of Manhunt.
Is Manhunt the one with the flashlight or the can or what?
We played it with like flashlight or
Did
just tag. It's the same kind of thing. It's like cops and robbers. You have like a attacker group or a search group, and then
dude, I love that.
The hunters and the hunted. But we played it. Oh, dude, we played it the whole neighborhood. Like it wasn't just one backyard. We played the entire neighborhood where you like just nuts. Yeah. Crazy games. It was great, dude. And we stayed in great shape. I don't know. I just miss those days.
People don't
do that anymore.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they do, but I don't think as much. And our age certainly don't play that anymore. Like that just doesn't happen.
I think Halo 3 came out and I just stopped.
Yeah, I feel like video games are the more popular option now. You just play it in a video game as opposed to in real life. I've always preferred the like actually doing it.
Yeah. I think there's room for both, but it's just
absolutely.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my fear. We just talked. We kind of just explained why it's like a fear to me. It's like I really don't want to see those kind of amazing times go.
Yeah. You know what my other fear is? The one I was gonna say. I agree. Oh my gosh, I love my
voice. I agree
with you. I agree with you. I think growing up is a big one for me too. Now that I think about it, because it's just. I think like what I hate is the pandemic's happening right now because I'm like, I'm 23, man. Like 23 is a pretty good age, and I'm just not. I'm living in LA, and I'm not even experiencing LA all the way, and I just don't. I don't like that, and that is why I am getting vaccinated as soon as possible. By the way, shout out to the vaccinations that are going out in like what, 2 weeks or something. Yeah,
I think we can get it in 2 weeks or a weekish.
Oh, also, yeah. we haven't said this on the podcast, but M got vaccinated. My girlfriend got vaccinated recently. She like surprised me. Dude, oh my God. So I was like streaming, and she came in on stream, and she was like, "Hey, I just got back like from work and stuff." And I was like, "Oh, hey, like I'm streaming." And I was like, I'm like talking to Milo. I can't, or no, I might have been talking. I think I was like talking to Milo. I was like, I'm talking to Milo right now. I can't at the moment. Like I'm like, we're in like a really deep discussion right now or something. And and she's like, "Okay, bye." And she just like left. And then later, like I came back and I was like, "Hey, how's it going?" And she's like, "Look on the calendar." And I like looked on the calendar because we have this calendar in the kitchen, and on the bottom of the calendar, which is like a week or so from now, I was like, I didn't see anything, and then I saw like M's second dose or something on the calendar is on this day, and I was like, second dose? When are you getting the first dose? Like, what's going on? And she just looked at me, and she was just on the couch, and she was just like, and she's like revealed that she got the vaccine today, and I was like, oh my God, how? Like, that's insane. Like, you got so lucky, and I'm really happy for it. But I just thought it was really funny because she just like played me. Like, I ignored her, and she just didn't. She's like, "Fine, I won't tell you till later. Bye."
Nice.
But yeah, so I'm definitely gonna do that as soon as I can. What was I saying?
You don't like the pandemic because it's taking away your 23rd year, which I would counter with a lot of other people have also had awesome years taken away from them from the pandemic. So what's your fear though?
Dude, this is a fear I feel like a lot of content creators share. Getting canceled.
You fear getting canceled? Okay. We're an hour in. We're going to have to end it on this topic because this is a great conversation. How can you fear getting canceled unless you've known you've done something to be canceled for?
Disagree with you.
What?
I disagree with you.
Here we go again with a time jab. How does that make any sense? If you know you've done nothing wrong, which is granted is probably hard to know considering things have changed a ton since 5 years ago, for example.
I think it's just no matter if like I look back on everything that I'm like, okay, everything I've done, like I don't think I've ever done anything that's like cancel worthy personally at all. But I definitely like think about it. I'm like, bro, like the internet is so like hateful at times and so just gung-ho at times in terms of just wanting to get rid of somebody. Yeah. And I think that's what it is. I think that there's this pressure that I have of a little bit of like, I don't know. It's like the same way where I got swatted. It was like,
you got swatted?
Yeah, you know that, don't you?
I didn't know that.
That's why I went to Twitch. Yeah, you should know.
Oh yeah.
It was during like a zombies map.
That's right.
And it happened to my family instead, right? Or it was really
okay.
weird.
Then I can see
it's like little things like that where it's like, like someone could make up something, somebody could do, you know,
like a false cancellation.
Yeah. The thing that scares me is that I do think a lot of people have been canceled maybe for the right reasons, right? But I think there's also this, I think people are a little too quick to judge people and too quick to like, how do I word this? People have judgments about people, and even I have judgments about people, even though I don't know their full story, and even I don't know what the full context is of something. And that is my biggest fear, is like someone taking something completely out of context and being like, "Oh, JC hates, I don't know, like his fans or something, or JC hates his subscribers," and because I made some joke in a video like 2 years ago or something, or 4 years ago, where I said something that was clearly sarcastic, but it's just taken out. That's the kind of stuff that that scares me as a internet personality, because it's just like people are so like, I hope that makes sense. It's not like it's not like I'm like, oh, I did something horrible in 2014 or something. It's like, no, it's just I don't. Like, I just don't like how quick the internet is to go and.
I agree with you. I agree. I think people are way too quick to hop on I think the bandwagon effect of cancellation is an actual issue in itself, which is ironic considering a lot of the reason people bandwagon is to spread awareness about what someone else did wrong, and in fact that ends up being kind of bad.
Yeah.
But I also feel like I'd like to think that as much as the internet is impulsive and keyboard warriors and toxic at times, I also think people are intelligent enough to recognize that example like you gave, taking like an inside joke out of context and ruining a whole career is ridiculous.
Yeah.
If it truly was taken... Like, I feel like people should be able to go and say, okay, clearly this was a misinterpretation of what we thought it might be. It was an inside joke at the time, and JC doesn't actually hate his fans. I mean, look at the context of your last 5 streams, for example.
Yeah.
How could you realistically say that you hate your fan? Like, you just can't do that. Yeah. I feel like any logically smart person would be like, okay, that's just kind of ridiculous to assume that he hates his fans because of one joke 4 years ago, when look at how nice the guy is. Look at how great he is to his audience.
I mean, but it makes you doubt yourself too, because you're like, oh man, have I been mean?
Then have some more confidence, man.
But
God damn it.
It's just I don't know. I've seen it a lot. Like
I see what you're saying.
I've just seen it a lot, and I've seen it like not even like, I don't know. Like there's just a lot of scenarios where people are very quick to like, oh, let's go back to this person's tweets from 2013 and see something that they said. And I don't know. It's very weird. Like when you document your entire life on the internet, basically.
Well, your parents were right in some way, right? What you put on the internet lives forever.
They're right. They're right. But
I think it's very situational, and I think people need to really. It's unfortunate because it's just like headlines. People read headlines, and whether they like the headlines are so misleading, first of all, and sometimes the headlines have really nothing to do with what the actual content's about in the article. So people just read the headlines, they perceive it the way that it's misled them to. Next thing you know, you got people saying that this is factual and it's not. In the same way, it sucks, but I agree with you. Like, people are quick to jump to conclusions when you need to do the goddamn research and make sure that what you're saying is truthful before you go on a whole tirade to cancel someone for something that didn't even happen or wasn't what you say it is. So in that way, I agree with you. Yeah, it's maybe a little scary, but I just don't think that, like, people that are getting targeted, I would hope that have some reason to be targeted. Does that make sense? Like, I don't think people are going to get... I guess when you get to the top, people target the people at the top.
I see what you're like I get what you're saying, but like it happens to like what you just said. When people, it's like that. Remember last episode where I talked to you about how like Ludwig is like blowing up on Twitch doing his thing. I don't know if it's over yet, by the way.
I think it's still going.
Is it actually?
I mean, I can look. Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's still going.
But like, you know, someone was like saying just how much of an awful streamer he is or something.
The first channel that
popped up. He's still going?
Still going.
That's hilarious.
Day 22.
Day 22, dude. That's insane.
Oh, he's only... There's no way that's right.
Was it?
1 minute and 47 seconds.
It's about to end? His subathon's about to end?
Someone just donated and went back up a little bit.
That's so funny.
I could be wrong. Is that... I'm pretty sure it's right. It's 1 minute and 35 seconds.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Are we going to experience it ending right now?
Maybe. So if you guys don't know, Ludwig's been doing a subathon where he's literally been live streaming nonstop for quite literally 22 days because people kept subbing. And he now he starts banning people who gift 100 subs to make it stop. So, there's a minute and 30 seconds left, but there's still a couple people who are still subbing to keep it going. And he has 65,000 people watching right now because they're probably interested in watching it end. Oh my God, it's just staying at 1 minute and 30 seconds. That's
people
crazy.
Keep subbing just to keep it right there.
Yeah. That's so crazy.
I feel like with 65,000 people in there, it's not going to end because there's too many that would be like, okay, I'm not going to be the guy that lets it end.
Back to 140. Dude, it's gonna end. It's
How
gonna end
much?
tonight.
How much does it go up when someone subs?
I think like 10 seconds.
I mean, he needs man, that's crazy that it's
Yeah.
still going. Because I remember last time we looked, it was like 38 hours. It was like way up there.
Yeah.
The fact that it's at a minute is nuts.
They're playing It Takes Two as well, and It Takes Two is a very long game as well, and they're on the beginning of it. And me and M just finished It Takes Two. It's a great game.
Well, we'll keep this up and see if it gets down. He's down. Keeps going back to 130. Yeah.
That's so funny. Oh my god.
Yeah, it was at 115 there for a second.
But with my example though, like Ludwig is the kind of person where like he, just somebody was trying to shut him down immediately, just seeing him like explode on Twitch. And it's just like, oh my god, like can we just let somebody just be the best streamer for a second before trying to like knock him down a peg? And
yeah, but I also think that's way different than fully canceling someone for something bad that they've done.
True. But they definitely overlap, I guess.
They do overlap. I mean, everyone wants to see someone, the top guy burn.
What is that, man?
It's just envy, dude. It's like human nature to not want someone else to succeed to a great level that you can't get to.
I guess so. It's something in our nature of like,
it's envy.
Yeah.
It's jealousy. It's we just broke below a minute.
That's crazy.
I feel like we're experiencing a little bit of history at the moment.
This might not happen again for a while.
I can't say the fact that it's gone this long is insane.
22 days. I think
it's turning red now. It's below a minute.
Oh my god. No way.
I just got back above a minute. It could be a while. It's a deceiving thing where it could be another couple hours.
Wow. I wonder if he's like trending right now because it's about to end.
Let's see. He's got 66,000 viewers. No way they're going to let it end. There's no way. Everyone's just saying end.
There's a lot of people who are like,
oh no!
Oh, what do you go back to?
This guy gifted 25. It's below a minute. Maybe it didn't register yet. Here,
Yeah, it'll be behind 30 seconds at least.
See what it goes to.
Okay.
Someone just dropped 25
It's
subs.
back in 5 minutes.
No way! Okay, it's not ending. It's not ending anytime soon.
5 minutes, dude.
Someone just dropped the number 5. These guys are waiting for it to get to like 30 seconds, and they're like, no. That is crazy,
awesome,
bro.
But yeah, I would say that's one of my weird content creator fears.
That's fair.
And I think a lot of content creators probably feel the same way, to be honest.
Personally, I am much more fearful of being like hacked or like my personal data being leaked.
That's part of it too, though, of my answer too. Because like I said, like I feel like people, like it's like when I said the swatting thing, right? It's like
that's horrifying.
It's like people just like it's like it's a combination of like being canceled for whatever dumb reason, but also or something out of context, or someone trying to literally just attack you, like or stalk you or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like oh my god, just some crazy stuff going on in the Call of Duty community. I don't know if you've seen stuff that happened lately, but like Drifter has been speaking out about all this stuff that he's been dealing with, in terms of like the YouTuber 8 Thoughts and everything. Have you seen that?
No.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Fill me in now.
Dude, but like basically like 8 Thoughts is like Discord mods literally like have like swatted Drifter before. Not only that, they have personally gone to Drifter's house for the meme of it and live streamed it, and like it's just ridiculous, like stuff that would like
another YouTubers mods.
Yes.
And what does that YouTuber have to say about 8 Thoughts?
Not much good, to be honest. He's really not doing a good job explaining himself. But
he didn't. Did he like incite that? Like,
he streamed his mod. He restreamed his mod doing it.
Oh, so he's like supporting his mods and doing
basically.
This.
He says stuff like, "Oh, I can't control him," but then he'll stream it on. He'll restream.
Yeah,
it.
I mean, come on.
But also, he's always been a very, very controversial, and he has made videos about me before.
Really,
making fun of me before. Yeah, he's basically like
I gotta look this guy up.
You shouldn't, to be honest.
Okay. But you shouldn't.
But he's always been like this person who's like trying to be like this really edgy YouTuber who's going after all the COD YouTubers all the time. Like, oh, these YouTubers.
Is this him?
Yeah.
That's actually him?
Yeah. And he's like,
so this guy's like 45 and
yeah, and restreams his mods going to a YouTuber's house. It's pretty crazy. But yeah, so he's like, you know, randomly
shit.
He's made fun of Zombies community people before. He's made fun of like you know, John before. He's made fun of me before. I think he's made fun of Noah before too.
He looks like deleted all his videos.
Probably.
Probably.
I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that. I don't like going too far deep in that rabbit hole because I was like, I remember him making videos about me before, and I'm just like, you made fun of me because I had an emotional reaction to something. Sick. Yeah. When I get paid very little for those videos too, and it's like, oh, I'm just a shill or something for reacting a certain way. Anyways, that's he basically just like goes after people and says they're shills for Call of Duty or shills for games, but then his like he cultivates a community that thinks it's okay to one of the things that Drifter pointed out in his video is that they called I'm trying to remember this correctly. I apologize if I get some of the details wrong, but they called it's so effed up. They called a suicide prevention hotline for veterans, right? And gave them Drifter's address, saying that they were going to do something, like kill people or something. And they gave them Drifter's address, and then 8 Thoughts was like watching.
Why do people do this?
8 Thoughts was like watching his mod do this and like laughing about it and like messaging him while he was doing this on stream.
I just don't understand what is the incentive for someone to do that? Like, I just don't get it. I don't understand what you like. How could you ever feel good about yourself for doing that?
It's really funny too because Drifter's like talking about in his. It's not funny, but like I'm just saying like in this way, like Drifter's in Texas, so Drifter has guns and stuff. And Drifter's Drifter's like, dude, like I'm ready, like to stop anybody from coming in because he's scared that somebody's gonna come and hurt him, and I like totally feel for the guy. Like you're getting harassed.
Even just
by
that,
these
like people
online.
knowing where you live and knowing they don't have your best
scary.
interest in mind is just a horrifying thought.
There's
like no privacy there. There's no security. Like you need to feel safe in your own home, and that's a fear of mine. I would say.
Yeah.
Because you see what happened to Roman Atwood?
No.
Oh man.
I saw what happened. Did you see what happened to was it Meg Turney and Gavin from Rooster Teeth at the time? And they like somebody like broke into their apartment and they were like hiding, and luckily they were okay. But like it's effed. Like that stuff terrifies me, man.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah, because it's like
luckily I don't think I'm like big enough to really be targeted too much.
Yeah. But dude, I mean, I thought so too with the zombie stuff, right? I was like, I'm not the biggest YouTuber. That stuff will never happen to me. I got swatted. I'm the only one in the zombies community that's been swatted. Still. Don't want that to happen to anybody.
I feel like the swatting thing has stopped because people I think it's become like you can get in like really serious trouble now if you call in a SWAT falsely. I
mean, I hope, man. But it's just, it's that kind of stuff though. Like, I mean, the whole Drifter situation, you need to watch that video you made on it because it's wild how not only has he been dealing with this for a long, long time, but it's just so crazy how someone like who's clearly like way older than all of us is like encouraging his community to do that, and like just what is going through your head to think that's okay? I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's very like it's just wild how effed up some people are. Like just. At the end of the day, a lot of stuff is gaming. We're playing video games, people. If someone wants to overreact to a video game trailer, who cares?
Yeah.
Calm down. Like it's almost more sad that you get upset at that than some real world problem that's actually ruining
that's what
social
I'm saying.
lives,
like
right?
how do you I don't understand how people
It's crazy.
A lot of people want someone to be mad at because they're not happy with themselves at the end of the day.
Yeah.
That's just what it comes down to. They have to be mad at something else to feel better about their own issues. But it's just like, I don't understand how you can go to that level of like really ruining and messing with someone else's livelihood.
Yeah.
Like, how can you feel nothing when you're doing that? That's just so fucked up.
I don't know.
You got to watch this Roman Atwood shit. They had to get the FBI involved.
What happened?
Some similar to this.
When was this? Like a year or two ago?
It's been happening for like a year and a half.
Still.
They finally got the people who were doing it. He didn't really give a lot of detail, but essentially someone hacked everything that they have. They were able to see their own, like their in-home camera security system. They knew they had all their cell phone numbers. They canceled their insurance plans. They knew the address. They would text them like, hey, I see you on the camera taking a shit right now, or like whatever you're doing in your house right now. Multiple times. They got new numbers, reinstalled, like changed the cameras, changed all the shit, and they kept getting back to them.
What?
They got the FBI in. The FBI finally got the people, apparently. But they had to get the FBI involved for months before they caught the people. Like, he's like, they're horrified. They couldn't post videos because they were like freaking out about the fact that these people always knew where they were and what they were doing.
That's what Drifter said. He's like, I couldn't post any videos about it because it was under investigation and all this kind of stuff. And he was just like,
it's horrifying. Like the fact that that's possible is horrifying.
Yeah.
Well, man,
damn,
brutal.
But that's what I mean, though. It's stuff like that.
That's a fear for sure.
Stuff that's out of your control. Where you're like, dude, oh my god, like. People are effed.
Yeah. There are some sucky people in this world for sure. Definitely some sucky people in this world. Such a downer to end it on. I feel like we needed like a pick-me-up after that downer segment.
Yeah.
Biggest fear anyway. Yeah. Those are some fears.
Getting hacked would not be fun.
I've been hacked, but not like to this level by any means.
Yeah, that's
like I've been hacked on social media, and even that's miserable.
See, that's why it's so like important that I know people all the time are like, okay, JC, where are you at? I'm like, where are you at in LA? I'm like, I can't say that.
I'm just in LA.
Just in LA, because it's just you can't be super specific, or I don't know. You gotta be really careful with that kind of stuff. You don't. Yeah. Like, it doesn't matter if you have 100 followers or 2 million. Like one of the 100 could be someone who just wants to be a horrible person for some reason.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Like it's scary, but it's just a precaution you got to try to take. And even with some people who take the precaution, it doesn't matter. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. It's scary shit. I feel like this is the worst note to end on. Like just the worst note.
I just don't want to be canceled.
Can you imagine overreacting?
Dude,
to a video game trailer.
Dude, that's the thing that's always gotten me about people like who are like, JC, why do you, dude? Look at this guy. Look at this guy. He's like losing his mind over a video game.
This bearded man.
Or he's crying over a video game. Or
crying over a video game.
And it's like, dude, I'm sorry that you don't have an emotional reaction to anything. Like, what do you mean? Like, I can have it's like how we talk about nostalgia and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, dude. Are you kidding me? I cry at movies all the time.
I know.
That's when you know it's a good movie because I'm like emotionally invested in it.
It's so weird how people.
If I shed a tear, bro, that's a compliment because I'm feeling the emotion that you're putting out.
Did you ever see when that one guy it was someone with Rise of Skywalker? It was like the last Star Wars movie that was coming out, and this guy on YouTube was reacting to it, and he was just like sobbing, like just full on like sobbing at every scene, just losing his mind over it, and it was like you watch it, and you're like, damn, bro, this guy really loves Star Wars.
Yeah.
And it just hits. Like, I watch it, and I'm like, you go, man. Like, I'm so glad this movie could, like, do that.
You got to respect people, like,
but people are, like,
being invested in whatever it is they love.
But then you have people in the comments who are like, wow, dude, imagine being so overly excited for this terrible movie that came out.
God. Like I hate people that are just negative parades, dude. If you are a negative person by nature, we will not get along very well. Because I am so opposite to that.
Dude,
there's like, why?
It's literally like, bro, I could go on so many rants about it, but it's like, you know, I see it in every community. Doesn't matter what community it is. Some people are always like, oh yeah, this community is not good. There's people like that in here. Every community has people like that.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what movie, doesn't matter what game, doesn't matter what book, doesn't matter if it's just a product, like anything. Like people always have, like there's always this, like people who just have this very like negative reaction to things where they're like, this guy is excited about this. What a loser. It's like, why does it bother you so much? Like, just like, even if like, say say there's like a video game where I pick up this glass over and over. This is the entire gameplay, just picking up this glass over and over and over and over. And I think it's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my entire life. And I'm like crying, and I think it, like I can just see the art in it and all this kind of stuff. It's the most obscure thing. I'm the only one in the world who loves it. The only one in the world who loves it. Dude, there's gonna be that person always is like, dude, why do you like that? No one else likes this. Why do you like it? And it's like, just let someone live if they want to pick up the glass in the video game multiple times. Like, it's like what people like BO4, right? People all the time are like, Black Ops 4 sucks, Zombies sucks, or whatever. It's like there's a lot of people who like Black Ops 4. A lot of people.
Yeah.
But the difference is they don't go on Twitter and say if they like it or dislike it. They just played the game and had fun with it. And the same way with like all these types of games that are like mega popular, right? Like you got like Warzone. You know, people are like, Warzone's in a horrible state. What are they doing, bro? What are they doing? And then, but the guy who's like in college right now has had just like a long day, and he just gets on Warzone at night with some friends and has a good time. Not a care in the world, man. Not a care in the world. But like, it's just.
But you see the negative.
And if that person was like, man, dude, Warzone's so much fun, man. I love it. And then you have another guy at the party who's like, well, actually, I didn't like when they did this. And it's just like, just let somebody enjoy it, man.
Yeah.
That's all I ask everybody. Just let people enjoy.
Don't be a hater, man. I feel like we've harped on this a couple times now.
It's just, it
we don't
me.
like the negativity and the toxic people that just, when it's, sure, you're allowed to give your opinion.
Criticism is fine.
Yeah, like you're allowed to give your opinion on things, but the unnecessary negative nature of some people, it just, like, how do you get enjoyment out of life if you're just negative about things for no reason? Like, just go on to whatever you enjoy. Like, focus on what you like doing and just forget about the stuff you don't like.
I was seeing it happen with so Outriders came out. Right?
Yeah.
I know the podcast should have ended by now, but I'm just gonna keep going for a second.
Well, this is a better note to end on. So
yeah, it's definitely better. But Outriders came out, and Outriders has had really, really, really bad server problems. Like, the game's great. The game's pretty damn good. Definitely surprise hit. Quite a bit. It has a lot of people playing it. I think they actually had like a peak on Steam of like 120,000 people or something, maybe even more than that, which is really good. I think I saw like a comparison chart compared to like the Marvel Avengers game, and it was like way more than that game, which I didn't even think that would make sense, but crazy. They had a great show turn up. They had a great turnout. Thank you.
Turnip, Animal Crossing.
Turnip. It had a great turnout of people on Steam, and the servers have just been kind of like in flux because I think they didn't expect
that many people. Yeah.
And they definitely had like a beta at 1.2, so like they tested the game beforehand. It worked pretty well, I think. And so a lot of people were just so up in arms, and they're like, this game is absolutely unreal. Cannot release games in this state anymore. Cannot happen. After Cyberpunk, how could this happen? We are done. I'm done buying products and them not working on day one, like all this kind of stuff. And it's like, man, like, I love how the sirens are going off in the background. It's really funny. But it's like, I'm just looking at this. I'm like, okay, yeah, the server's not working on the first couple days at launch. That does suck. It does suck. You did buy a product, absolutely. But just like, I don't know, like, it's gonna be fixed. It's gonna be fixed, and like, you just know the dev team is working around the clock, like through the night, to fix this immediately.
Yeah.
For the game, for the community, and everything. And they're the other thing too is, I understand as well if that's happening, and PR and like the social media team are very, very not talkative. Like if the game is like the game's marketing team, the people who outreach to the community, if they're not super talkative about what's going on, that's a little sketchy, right? Like, it's kind of weird. But they were like they were spot on. Like, all their transparency was amazing. I've never seen transparency that good almost. They were just like, all right, guys, we're going to try to reset the servers right now at this time. They should be down for like 20 minutes. And then like another 20 minutes, we're going to reset it for the UK. And like, they're like going down the list of all these different things they're doing. They're like, all right, servers are back up, guys. Like, give it a try, see if it works, like all this kind of stuff. But like really trying to work with the community to make sure it works. And then all the replies are just people that are just
ripping them.
Fuming. It's like, dude, it's literally like this game was made in a pandemic. Like it was made in a pandemic from home. Like they're literally probably working around the clock from home. Not even at an office, from home to try to fix this. And people are just like giving them all this stuff. And like, I get it. Like but you can criticize it and be like, okay, it's kind of a sucky launch. Definitely a sucky launch. Pretty disappointing that I can't play and backs me out sometimes, right? But oh my God, like I had the game and I'm just like, I just moved on with my life a little bit. And I'm just like, all right, I'm gonna wait a little bit till they get it sorted out. If it's this way for like 2 weeks, okay, that's pretty bad. Yeah. But the first day or so of a new game coming out who had an influx of a lot of players that is just unreal. Like I don't know, like I'm gonna give them a little bit of a break here. We're in a pandemic as well. Like they probably weren't imagining this many people playing it. I don't know. And something happened to the servers that they weren't ready for. And also you cannot prepare for the live environment 100% in a way. Things do happen. And I'm just sitting there and I saw one of their like community managers like say something on Twitter. Bro, I felt so bad for him. I forgot what his name was, but he said something on Twitter and he was like, guys, I get it. He definitely was just like mentally had a really bad day. And he was like, guys, I get it, but please leave us alone. Like I've been in tears all day. Because he's just, every reply is ripping on him. His personal account's being ripped on. Yeah. Everything. And I'm like, that's the stuff I don't like, man. That's the stuff I don't like.
We should probably wrap this here. Yeah. But my last thought in regards to that, I feel bad for them. People do not, and I'm going to address even our chat on this one. Yeah. Because I'm sure everyone's guilty of this at one point or another. People do not understand how much it actually affects the other side of when you send a tweet at someone that's like negative or ganging up on someone or, insulting. It hits just as hard, if not harder than it would in person, especially because they don't really know who you are. They don't really know you that well. It can be, when you read it, it can be perceived a lot worse than you might have wrote it or meant to write it. Yeah. It hurts just as bad, if not worse, when you are mean to someone else online. And then when people start ganging up, it really takes a toll on someone. And you wouldn't know that unless you were the person who's received that kind of hate before. Yeah. Because it's easy to send a tweet and walk away and go on with your life. But when everyone's doing that and that all is coming to the same person at the same time, detrimental to their mental state. Yep. Detrimental. Yeah. So before you send mean tweets, it's funny, mean tweets is a video we did. Think about what you're saying and maybe try to be a little nicer. Yeah. That's my note, because couldn't hurt. It couldn't hurt anyone to be a little nicer.
Yeah, like I had something happen. All right, I know we keep going, but it's just something I thought of. Like me and M were streaming last night, and we were streaming the finale of It Takes Two, which is this long co-op game we've been playing for it's like a week or so on and off. And the thing is streaming, I'm to me, as much as I absolutely am doing it for the fun of it, 100%, I'm also doing it because I just feel like I want to give content to my community, right? I'm really, I don't know how to even word this exactly, but if me and M are together on stream, we are making a decision out of our day to carve out 4 hours of our time dedicated to that game, to stay up till 3 a.m. last night to finish the game. We stayed up till 3 a.m. M had a shoot today with 100 Thieves at 8 a.m. She had to be up and gone, I think, by then. But she committed the time because she wanted to get this done for the stream, for our chat and everything, because there's a lot of people who are really wanting to see this playthrough or to see us finish it as well. And I'm doing that on top of work during the day, other work at night as well. And and streaming other things too. Like I am like trying to balance multiple things plus this podcast too. Like I'm doing a lot of things to try to get content out in a lot of ways and get a lot of things done. And there were people in the like, and I don't want to like say it was the entire chat or anything, but there was like a couple of messages last night, and me and him talked about it afterwards, and we're like, man, that was kind of rude. Like we got like just kind of like ripped into. I don't know what it was, but I don't remember like who it was exactly, but like we had like a message or something like, it was like 30 minutes before the end of the game. It was like 2:30 or something, and we're like, how much longer is the game, chat, and something like that, and people were like, like I gotta go to bed. Turn off the stream. Like I gotta go to bed. Like stop playing, JC. Like stop playing. Like it was, and it was really hard to read the tone of it, but it was like we kind of got the vibe of like there was literally somebody in chat telling us to end the stream and not finish the last 30 minutes of the game and wait till 4 days from now or something for us to carve out another time of our night to finish 30 minutes of this game when we could just finish it right now. And for 160 people that were in there. But just because that one person was wanting to go to sleep, they were sending a message like, no, dude, I can't stay up this late, JC. End the stream right now. And I'm like, what? Like, what? Like, there's a ton of people in here watching and all this kind of stuff. And that was like a moment where I'm like, they probably mean no harm with that at all. They probably mean no harm with that in any sort of way. They're probably just being funny, to be honest. And they're like, JC, I gotta go to bed in the stream, dude. Like I want to actually see.
There's a bunch of ways you can take that. Yeah.
But like the way it sort of came across to us is we're sitting there tired. We're streaming this till 3 a.m. when we both have work in the morning and all this kind of stuff. And we're doing this for the stream. Yeah. And like hearing somebody just basically go in the stream. I'm like brutal. I'm like, dude, I'll end the stream right now, man. Sure. Like I'll end the stream and I will go back and me and M could spend some quality time together instead of, you know, and not saying it's not quality time together to stream together, but it's like, I mean, our entire night was all work. My entire day and night was all work. And it was like, just even that little sentence got to me a little bit. Cause I was like, man, and we're staying up till 3 a.m. to give this content. And somebody in my chat's like literally telling me to end the stream. It wasn't everybody by any means. Most of the chat was fine. But it was, and probably, and I'm not even saying this in any like bad way of like, oh, I don't like that person or whatever. I honestly think they probably meant it as a joke. But it's like, it's just what you're talking about. You get like, sometimes you get something, you're like, you just don't know how like people sometimes send a message and they just don't know how the person receiving it is going to take it, especially in text.
Text is the worst.
Yeah. And when you get something like that, you're like, damn, maybe I do want to end the stream. Like, damn, like I don't know. And luckily we pushed on, and people were telling us, they're like, oh yeah, there's 3 hours left, and all this kind of stuff. And we're like, no way, there's 3 hours. There's only 28 minutes left of the game, and we almost got tricked into thinking there's 3 hours left. I would have had to start an entire stream, carve out another night with M.
Dang.
And it's just that's some weird content creator woes there, but like
it's true. The text thing is like Jess has been away for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We've been amazing when she's been here.
Yeah.
She's been, like I said, she's been home for like a week. She's going home for 2 weeks. She's been home for like a week. We've had more petty arguments in the 1 week she's gone than the like last 6 months.
Yeah, dude.
It's because text is so hard to communicate because like, I don't know. I don't even want to get into the details.
No, I know what you mean.
But like essentially like, you say one thing and it's perceived differently, and next thing you know, you're like completely on the wrong page. When you never meant to be, and they never meant for it to be.
Yeah, and the same thing can happen with that. Same thing can happen with messages on Twitter.
Oh, everywhere. That's the whole point. That's the whole point. Like, just be nice. Make sure it's clear that it's meant to be nice. Yeah, because otherwise it can be taken very wrong, and it does affect people.
And it sounds very like first world problem, but it's a big deal when it's people's
It's
mental
more than
health.
a first world problem now because this is like the way that people communicate these days.
Yeah.
Primarily, especially with the pandemic.
Especially with people on Discord and stuff.
Yeah.
And
like
all that kind of thing.
If you're not going to say, if you're not going to say something nice, don't say anything at all. Nah,
I've had my moments too.
Of course you do, but just try to remember that there's someone on the other side that's a human being that is going to take it to heart if it's not, if it's really mean. And if you don't have to say something mean, don't say it.
Yeah.
Just keep it as a draft, man.
Keep it as a draft.
Yeah,
Keep it as a draft,
it's
dude.
good to have a lot of drafts. It's a good thing to have a lot of drafts. Usually they're all the things you're like borderline whether you should say or not, and you probably shouldn't say at that point. Just leave it as a draft and go through them all and be like, wow, I'm glad I didn't send any of these, and delete them all. And
I've seen Matt's drafts.
have you?
I think you showed me like one of them one time.
Yeah, I cleared them out. I needed to purge.
Like, I gotta get rid of
my
this.
drafts are my purgatory, and I cleared purgatory recently. And I'm like, it feels good to like be done with all that bullshit that I never sent.
I remember one time you told me, you're like, dude, I want to respond.
Oh,
so
dude,
bad
I've
to
been in the
something."
past year. I have been close to like just diving in on some Twitter beef, and I just
Just let it be.
it's a good thing. I just
Just let it
I'm
be.
just gonna let it go.
let
I'm gonna write it out. I'm gonna get it all out, and I'm gonna draft it, and that's it. And that way, at least I got it out of me, but it will never see the light of day.
Dude.
And it's for better. It's for better that it doesn't.
I used to always be one in like relationship woes. I would always be the one that would just write an entire freaking letter and just never send it. It would just be like this,
Dude, it's good.
It would be like a
Just get it
5-page
out,
thing
you know?
of like every single wrong that's happened in the relationship that like I felt horrible about, or like that happened to me. I don't know. It was just like all these different things, and I would just be like, yeah, there's no way I could send that. They would just be so overwhelmed by that.
Should be too much.
It would be too much.
But at least you've got it out, right?
Yeah.
At least you've spoken it out. All right, this was a long podcast. We've talked for about 5 hours straight total now, so that's good. Hopefully you enjoyed. I'm gonna have a really fun time breaking these into sections because we just went all over the place. But if you made it this far, comment,
sprinkle.
There you go. We'll see you guys all next week. Give us more questions, topics, comments.
Give us
on,
more topics like the time travel one, because those were
honestly
fun.
the comments are the best place to give us topics because I do see them on Twitter, but then they get pushed down after
Yeah,
time.
sure.
So put them on comments because that's where we've been looking. And we'll see you guys next week.
Yeah. Have a good one, guys.
Peace.
Be nice out there.